I'm Ray, and today I'll be reviewing Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. Darkness is growing in Allward, and Corian and Amaranth has always seeked something outside of her seaport town. Her escape comes in the night with a mortal prince and a deadly assassin. The fate of the world rests on her shoulders, but before she can save it, she must find the rest of her crew. Irritative Gallon struggles to assert her role as queen without a king beside her. She refuses to marry someone who won't strengthen her kingdom. A strange alliance presents herself with the perfect solution. I loved this book. The characters' relationships with one another, just chef's kiss. Loved it all. 5 out of 5. It is high fantasy. It is adventure. It is very slow paced because of the fact that most of this book is focused on Corian finding the rest of her 7 members and building the world of Allward all together. It doesn't move very quickly, but that's okay. I liked it anyway. It builds the world really well as they travel through different kingdoms and lands to go get all these characters, and you get time to explore the characters themselves as you do this. There is multiple POV shifts, which I love in fantasy books because it just gets so much more depth into each character. For triggers, there is PTSD, murder, blood and depiction, fire, and sexism, and as well as gore. The prologue is a battle scene, and it's very violent and very bloody, and it's 26 pages long of that, and it's a bit difficult to get into, but afterwards everything else, as you get read the book, everything else is well explained. So the main cast of characters, just is 10 or 11 of them. So our main character is Corian and Amaranth. She is the daughter of the pirate Meliz and Amaranth, who she's her mother's bookkeeper, so she's like, this is where you should go next, this is where you should go next, whatever. And she doesn't want to do that anymore. She wants to go seafaring with her mother and all that, and her mother's like, no, you'll stay here with my ex pirate buddy and he'll take care of you. And she's done. So when the deadly assassin and the mortal prince come up and hey, you have old core blood, come with us, and she's like, you know what, give me 3 days and let me ask my mother again to see if she will. But then if we're not going, and she's such a great protagonist because she's not prepared to go save the world. She's a bookkeeper, so she's really good with maps and everything, but she's not a fighter. She's never left her town, so she's just kind of there. And I love her as a main character because she's just so inexperienced, and everyone's just supporting her and lifting her up, and at the same time she is finding who she is, and oh, I do belong here, though I don't have the same qualities. I ever loved her as a main character. Our next character is Corian of Iona. He is the immortal Prince. He's the immortal prince. I want to call him Fae. He is not Fae. They're called elders. Kind of the same thing, but they're elders. I love him. He is a gentle giant. So he is all brawn, and I wish he could say he's super smart, but as he comes from the land of immortals, when he is set off to save the realm, he is thrust into the world of mortals, and he doesn't know what to do with himself, as he's never been to the mortal realm, so he just struggles, and he sometimes does not look very smart, even though he is. And I love him anyway. I love him. He's great. He's one of my favorite characters. He's the bronze of the group, but he's the gentle giant. He's the motherman. Anytime he's with Corian, he is just must protect. If you touch her, I will hurt you, and he will hurt you, and I love him for it. Next we have the assassin, Sarah Sarn. I love her. Her morals are very lacking, and so most of the time there's a problem arising, and she's just we could kill them. I'm just saying. And I love that about her. I love a good, she's not here to save the world. She's there because she made a deal with Creon, and she's like, you know what, I have to get my money, and he won't pay me until this is over, so you know what, I'm just gonna stick around because she's in it for herself, and I love her for it. She's just she doesn't care. Love her. Next we have the Squire, Andrew Trelland. He is the sweetest boy alive. He gets there, and he brings Teapot with him because he doesn't know what else to do with himself half the time. It's just oh, I'm stressed, I'm panicking, we're under battle, I'm gonna make tea for everyone. He has the morals of the group. Anytime someone dies, either they're good or bad, he's just like, what have I done? You know? And I love him. He's a great character. Next we have the Forger, Charlemagne Armont. He, we meet him later in the books, so you don't get much about him, but he's like the funny uncle, you know? He's a former priest, so he's also highly religious, which is hilarious for the fact that he's also now a criminal, and a very good one at that. He's also used as bait for Sigil, who is our bounty hunter. She's just a powerhouse, and I love her with her and Seorsha's banter is great. We also have Valtek, who is a witch, and she only speaks in riddles, which drives the other characters up the wall. But at the same time, they all just like love her, and like they don't love her. They tolerate her presence, and I love her as a character. She's great. She runs off all the time, and no one was like, where did she go? We don't know, but she does. And she's just like a great character. Next, we have Yurda of Galland, the queen. Major spoiler. So she gets, she's like, her first part of the story is mainly like her sitting in courtrooms, and I'm like, listen, this king or prince or whoever sent you a letter, like, let's marry you off with him. And she's like, no, I don't want to marry an old man. I don't see why I have to have a king anyway. I'm fine without him. I want to strengthen my kingdom. And she ends up marrying Taristan of Ulcor, who is our big bad villain guy. And she just immediately like clicks with him in a way that there's no way she was actually like supposed to be a good person in the first place, because she just adapts so easily. Like, oh, we're taking over the world, bet. And I love that for her. So we also have Taristan of Ulcor. He is our villain, but he's not the big bad. Our big bad is What Waits, who is a god who Taristan follows, and What Waits is kind of like possessing him. He's not possessing him, but he's in Taristan, and he influences Taristan. I love Taristan. He is burning the world down. I don't care. He's a great character, and I love the pairing of him and Yurda. We also have Rhea of Iona, who is Damocreon's cousin, and she has her own like POV chapters, because her whole thing is that she's going back through the immortals, and she's like, hey, help us all out. I don't know why we get chapters with her. I don't vibe with her very well. I don't know why we get chapters. To me, it could feel like she writes letters to Damocreon. I don't understand why she needs whole chapters for it, though. Maybe she gets better in the other books, but she's there. So that's our cast of characters. So this is like major spoilers. I'm gonna be talking about the plot of the book. So one of my favorite parts of this book was Corian's relationship with her mother. I feel like, because it's such a sandpaper and sandpaper, they grit against each other so well, because her mother's just like, you need to stay here in our little town, and I'm gonna come back and you're keep my books. And Corian doesn't want that for herself. She was like, let me go with you. And her mother's like, no, you're not going with me. And one of my favorite parts of this whole book was in the very beginning, where Corian's having this fight with her mother, because her mother won't let her go off to sea with her. And she freaks out, and she goes, you know, Dad abandoned us, but you technically do it like several times a year every time you sail away again. And I love her relationship with her mother, because it's just so well, and it keeps coming out. And in the same fight, her mother's like, you don't have any backbone, that's why you're not allowed to go on my ship with me. Like, I'm a deadly pirate. Like, I look all nice, and I'm all nice to you and everything, but we kill people out at sea. Like, you can't do that. Like, you don't have the backbone for it. And so throughout the repeating of Corian's thing is that she has like, I don't have a backbone. Like, I can't do that. I don't, and it's like, love it. Another favorite, so that, as I said, the character, it mainly focuses on everyone like gathering up everyone else together to go save this realm. And one of my favorite meetings is after, so Dom is in the prologue with Andrew, and they lose the battle that they're supposed to be having. And so Dom comes back to the mortal land. He's like, my queen, you have to like help save the realm. And the immortals, they have been kicked out of their own realm, and so they see this as an act of a way for them to possibly get back to where they want to be. So they're like, actually, no, we don't. So I'm not going to do anything. And Dom's like, that's unacceptable. You cannot just like let a whole everyone die just because you want to get back to your world, and we're just fine here. Which is when we have Rhea. She goes off and she goes to go ask the other immortal kingdoms, like, hey, listen, I know what my mom said, but like, you should come help us anyway. And then Dom goes, and he's like, I'm gonna go find Corianne. He doesn't know her name's Corianne yet. But I'm gonna find her because I know she has old core blood, which is what we need in order to close the spindles, which are wreaking havoc on the world. And he knows Saoirse Sarn, our assassin, has information of where this woman is. And their meeting is spectacular. So Saoirse, she just got done with her job, and so she's walking back, and she feels like someone's following her. Now Dom, he goes by Dom, Corianne goes by Dom, being the immortal that he is, sticks out in the crowd, and he's not trying to blend in very well at all. And so she sees him, and so she immediately tries to kill him 3 times and fails every single time. And it's hilarious because she's like, oh, okay, so that didn't work. He's still following me, so I'm gonna release a bunch of bowls, like a pin of bowls. I'm just gonna open the door and run, right? And he just kind of just like walks through and like pushes him aside, and it's hilarious because she's like, what the heck, sir? Like, I was trying to like, why do you want from me? Because she believes he's trying to kill her, and she's like, and he's like, I just want to like talk. So she sits down at a cafe. She hands him a drink. It's poison, and he goes, you know, Elder, we're immune to most poison. And she's just like, fine, what do you want? And I just love the meeting, and I love Dom and Saoirse's relationship with one another throughout the entire book. I just love the meeting of them. So Dom and Saoirse, they team up after Saoirse as a high price. Listen, for most of the book, you don't get told what the price is, for whatever reason. But you do find out eventually, and it's not just high money, whatever, and it's made a joke of because Dom, being an immortal, he doesn't know crap about mortals, and so he's like, that's a lot to ask for, but I don't know the way this works technically, so I'm gonna agree anyway. I'm just like, oh, she asked for a ridiculous amount of money from this prince, right? No. His life. She wants his head so she can go back and join her group of assassins because she was kicked out of the Assassin League. And so she's like, if I bring you them your head, though, I can get back in. And so he agrees. If she ends up killing him, I will cry. Next, so Dom and Saoirse, they go and collect Corianne, and she's like, actually, I need a moment. Like, this is a lot. I'm asked my mother again. Her mother does say no. And so she's like, you know what? Let's do it. And so they set off, and they're going to go immediately talk to Andre, because Dom knows Andre from the first battle they had when everyone else died, except the 2 of them. Now, Andre believes he is the only person to have survived that battle. He does not know that Dom has survived, and he is heartbroken, and he is struggling, and he is now without his knight. He is a squire, and he takes care of his sick little mother, and he still has the spindle blade, which is needed to close the spindles themselves. And so he keeps it under her pillow, thinking like, oh, she won't know what it is because she's sickly and old and whatever. And so they go find him. They're like, hey, Dom's like, hey, bud, you have that spindle blade? And he goes, yeah, I thought you all died, but yeah, I do. And I'm like, perfect. We should go talk to the queen about everything that's happening. Like, we need to let her know that, like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, spindles are being opened. The world is falling to pieces. And now this is happening at the queen's dinner reveal of who she has chosen for her husband, for her king. So they don't quite know that Yerda, the queen, is not on their side. And I love the sequence. So they all go, you know, Saoirse, she has done her part. She has gone in Dom to Corianne. She's got them back to the castle. You know, she's done her thing. She's like, I'm dipping now because I don't actually want part of this. I will see you later, Dom, for your payment. But I understand I can't do it right. Like, I understand, so I'll wait for you to finish whatever nonsense this is, but I'll be back for you. And so now it's just the 3 of them, and they go talk to the queen, and the queen's like, Like, she's like listening, you know. She already knows all this, of course, because she's getting married to Terrazon. And the whole reveal is that they get there, you know, and Dom realizes it's too late. Not Dom. Corianne realizes it's too late that the queen is not quality because she's asked about the spindle blade, and well, Corianne didn't tell her about the spindle blade, and she's like, oh crap, we're in trouble. And then, of course, who walks out as her husband is revealed? Terrazon. And I was like, oh no, oh no, right? And so the battle is not a battle, it's a very small thing where we're all just trying to escape out of the castle. And they can't because they're getting like attacked. But who saves them? Saoirse, because she is like, I can't just leave them because they are trying to save the world. And I still need him to pay his payment. So I'm going to go back. And she jumps in, she saves them, and they all run. And I love that scene so much of her just realizing she's a very reluctant hero, but she is still a hero, and I love her for it. We also get the funny scene of their going through the maze, and Andrew's guiding them through it, and he runs into one of his other squire buddies. He's kind of a bully, and he's giving Andre crap and everything, and Saoirse's like, no, I could have killed him for you, and we could have been over this. And he's like, no, you can't just kill people all the time, right? And then, so they get out of the castle, they jump through the gates, and now Dom, bless his immortal soul, is not used to being injured, but he was stabbed in this fight, and so they get out of the castle, they're starting running, and so he's just like, oh, I have time, we have a moment to breathe, whatever, I've been stabbed, so I'm gonna just like take out the wound, and so now they have to carry him out the rest of the way because of the fact that he's never been injured really before in his life, and so when he just sees wound, he's just, oh, I'll heal, but he doesn't heal all the time, and it's been a very serious stab wound, and so Saoirse's like, oh my god, you are stupid, what have you done? Now you're gonna bleed to death on all of us. And so they had to like half carry him back to this like little old old abandoned house as they wait for him to heal. And so, like he's just like such a character for him, just like he's immortal, so he doesn't understand that he's actually being injured and hurt. We meet Valtech. Sparingly, she's first introduced as this like old woman who comes up to Corianne. She's like, let me mold my bones for you, and like let me like tell you your future. And then she comes back when they get in the old cabin. She's like, I want to stay with y'all, but she doesn't. She speaks riddles only, and everyone's like, why? And Corianne's like, you have to be nice to her. She's an old woman, so we have to be nice to her. And Valtech is a very interesting character because she just runs off all the time. She just like disappears, and everyone's like, where did she go? No one knows, but she pops up when they need them, so they're like, okay. I mean, it's better when she's not here because she only speaks in riddles. None of them likes that. None of them does. Next person to grab is Charlon, who goes by Charlie, and he is a forger, so he lives in the city of like criminals. And so they go there. Andrea is very worried, and he's like, I don't want to be here at all. Like, he's a squire, and he's a very high mortal. It's like, this is awful. Like, I've been told stories about this. I don't want to be here. And so they meet Charlie, and, they want him to help forge papers so they continue to cross their kingdoms and everything. Of course, Saoirse's not helping them fully, and she was just like, the reason we need Charlie is that they're using him as bait, because he is very reluctant to join their crew, because he's like, I cannot step outside of my city of criminals, because Sigil, the bounty hunter, will be waiting for me. And Saoirse's like, no. Listen, Sigil the bounty hunter has much better things to do than wait for you to come out of your kingdom. Obviously, you're not coming out of, right? That's a lie, because as soon as Charlie leaves, they are met by Sigil, and they quickly explain, like, hey, listen, you can have him. Just, like, let us finish our quest, and you can even join us. You can keep an eye on him. And so then we have our group of 7 all together, and it's, like, such a beautiful moment. And I love the chemistry between all the characters. They just work so well. One of my favorite scenes is they're traveling now, the whole group is together, and they're on the way to find the first spindle that's been opened in the middle of the ocean. And so they're staying at this tavern bar, and Andre goes up to bed because he's like, it's been a long day, and he's exhausted. Everyone's all just hanging out, chilling. And so then a bar fight breaks out mainly between Saoirse and Signal, but it's a bar fight, so everyone wants to fight as well. And it quickly breaks out, and I love the scene because not only do we get some great like show of talent between Sigil and Saoirse, who both are great fighters, but in like different ways, because one was a bounty hunter, one was an assassin. They both obviously have very different fighting skills, but it's hilarious because Dom, who is towering mass muscle, is just like not participating, and he is just like, Corianne, you must stay safe, so I'm gonna shove you in a corner with me. And we're just gonna stand there. We're just gonna watch, right? Because it's like, no one hurts her. We're good. And anytime someone comes close, he just like knocks them out quickly, right? He's mother hen. Charlie is like throwing things around, And it's just a beautiful scene. And at one point, Dom is fed up. He's like, what the heck is going on, y'all? So he goes through and he just takes all the remaining bar fighters and he just like knocks them out, tosses them aside, you know. Finally, he gets between Sorsha and Sigil and he's like, listen. He breaks the two of them apart and he puts Sigil against the wall. He's like, chill out, ma'am. Like, and he is clearly winning. Like, Sigil is choking to death and he is waiting for her to surrender. And Sorsha pops up and she goes, listen. Sigil, let Sigil go. Like, we explain her, and Dom's confused because like we won the fight, but we're surrendering. Whatever. Love. Such a great scene. I did not do it justice. And then of course we have our major fight, and they are closing the spindle blade and the desert-ish, but also like ocean-ish. It's like the weird place. Anyway, so but then they have to go on a ship, and they are attacked by like I want to say it's a kraken, but they are attacked by like a kraken, and so the whole ship crew, you know, everyone's like fighting or whatever. But they tie up both Voltac because she's the old woman. They don't want her like flying off the ship or anything. But also they tie up Corian, which is like, I understand that she's not great of a fighter at all. She struggles. That's her area of struggles. But she is the daughter of a pirate, so she is very good at ship manning the ship, right? And so they tie her up, and she starts like shouting orders from her position tied up to the mast, and they just ignore her for most of the part until Charlie's like, listen to her, y'all. And I'm just like, why would you tie up the pirate lady when you're trying to fight but they do. They get through it though. And so the last 100 pages or so are very action-packed and everything. And the rest of it is mostly focused on character building and world building and gathering up everyone else. Throughout, and I love the fight scene. Beginning, the second book picks up right where that left off. The spindle blade is used, and they close the first spindle link because throughout the book we get also POVs from Irda, who is the queen, of course, who's married to Terraston, and they mostly focus on, we want to conquer the world, so we're gonna go work on opening more spindle blades, open more spindles, and I'm gonna send out my troops to go kill Corian and her crew because they're a nuisance to what we want to do. And so that's that. So that's the first book. I want to talk more about character relationships. So you kind of have like 3 couples set up in this book. Obviously you have Iridum and Terraston. I like them as a couple. I think they work really well. I like the power thing because Terraston is very much a powerful. He has what's weights, the god on his side, you know. But at the same time, Iridum is a powerhouse of a queen. And the dynamic for that is so great because he is not technically a king because he's not a royal. He's old core blood, but he's not royal blood. So he's like prince consort. And so he doesn't know crap about royals, and so she's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, you have to act this way, you have to behave this way, whatever. And he's just like guiding him along with that. And they just work so well together because at the same time, he has all the power, but she's in control, and I love them together. They also have 2 other couples that are like being set up. First, we have Andre and Corian. I do not like them together at all. They're great friends. I like them as friends. I do not want them to be in a relationship together at all. Please, no. I don't think they work that well at all. I like them as friends. They can stay friends. They can be best buds. Don't put them together. However, I really want Dom and Sorsha to end up together. Please. They're constantly bickering. They're reluctant allies, and if they end up together, that means she will not kill him. Which I think would be a great start to relationship. It's just like, we're gonna kill you, but like, please. They work so well together. Their character dynamics just work so well. Because like, Dom is the 6'4" muscle mass, but she's the one you really need to be worried about because she is the one who is like, you inconvenienced me, I'm just gonna kill you, you know? Another one of my character relationships are Dom and Andre because they both are on the prologue and they both survive. They're the only 2 survivors of that first battle scene. And so Andre is helping Dom throughout the whole book, basically be like, hey, listen, I know you're immortal, so you never like experienced grief at all ever, because no one's around you ever died, but it's okay to be sad. And he just helps Dom with this so much, and I just love the mentor like bonding between the two of them. Like, they just work so well, and Andre is such a sweet guy, and Dom is just like, I shouldn't be sad though, because I'm not supposed to be sad. And it's just like, but it's okay to be sad. Please be sad. Like, let it out. Like, it's okay. We're bonding together through the fact that we both lost people that we cared about. So that's my review on Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. Please read. It's a great book. The third one's coming out this next February, and it's such a good book. The characters are great. The world building is great. The second book is even better. Just love this series in general. So that was my review on Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. 5 of 5. Definitely recommend this book to anyone who loves a good old high fantasy adventure book, who also doesn't mind it being so place. Thanks for watching. Bye!